here's our spot that I put the 2mm underneath of, and then I used my template here to cut out, well, to mark out. So now I'm going to I got to move my turn my hacksaw around. Okay. Okay, I can reshape that with my rasp. Well, I've been rasping around here, so let's see how close we are to our template. Okay, pretty close. A little bit more around out in here and we'll be done. Okay, now we got the shape. Let me give you a better look at this. There's a downward view. I still have a little more trimming over in here to get that arc in correctly. I'll have to pull this off so I can glass underneath. I don't think I can do it from underneath. Maybe I can, but I probably should take it off just for some other stuff. I need to figure out this wedge in here too. Well, it's the next day, so we'll take this off, and then I'm going to go ride. It's a beautiful day. It stopped raining in Seattle. Finally, rainiest weather we've had on the record. So, okay. Let's see how we got here. Okay, let's peel off the plastic. Good. Okay, perfect. Lift it over here. That's okay. I can cut that off. But I got my edge along here. It lifted a little bit. It's mainly flat. The plastic under the pressure kind of squeezed the epoxy out, so when I put the next layer, I don't have to sand this all down and fill in some spots around in here. What do we got here? Some sticky stuff. Okay. Yeah. Lifted a little bit around in here, but that's fine. I can cut that off right in there. And the next layer goes over, so. And it's, now I got the glass and epoxy on both sides of the plywood filler, so I got my strength back up again. So I'm going to go ride, and then we'll come back and on another day. Well, I got the all the nose pieces back on except for the wraparound plastic that covers up those bolts there, and it somewhat fits. There's a lot of distortion going on in there, mainly because that lower gray part I don't think is truly correct, even after I put those pieces back together. Well, I lied. I said I was going to get the engine running before I did anything more on the panels, but yesterday I had to make a matching one of this, so I took a block of wood and shaped it out at the angle and then epoxied it onto the side of the panel. So this one I'll just put a screw in. And when I made the piece, I I had the edge here divided over this remaining tab that was sticking out. I put it on the wrong side, but that's okay. It'll last. Nobody will see it. But the other thing I wanted to show you, let me set up on the other bike. And the other thing that I did was I took, where is it now? I made a piece of cardboard, a template that fit in here. I don't know if I may have shown that. I can't remember. and then cut out for the tab that was sticking out here. And then I transferred it over to a piece that looked something like this, only it was bigger. This is the first one, I didn't have the right depth. And then I cut it with a knife or a saw into a bunch of little cuts here, so I would cut the top lamination on that plywood, and I was able to bend it around. And stick this panel in here, and then I put in a little wedge in here to keep this out. I also normally the bolts went through here into the side panel, or into the top panel, into the side of it, and I thought, well, to make it work better and to fit better, I took these things off the nose panel and put on here, so I'll have the outside of the nose panel on it instead of on the inside. So, and then down here, where the other bolt is, I'll put a standoff in here, a 1/2 inch standoff, and then the other panel will come down flat. And it still matches up on the screws that have to go in through here, which is a real pain in the ass to get to this one, because you got to take the reflector cover off in order to get into the screw head. Let me clean this up. Well, I have the first cleanup done. In order to do some more on this, I'm going to take this whole panel off, because I want a shape underneath, and remember we have to still put some more glass on the bottom side of this part too. So, and I got some fairing I need to do on the nose panel, so we'll get on with that. I've been fitting this nose bumper guard in. There's some I don't know. I have some tweaking up here. I may do something different with this thing. I'm probably going to have to put some screws through here, maybe 3 or 4 of them into the substrate underneath to hold this thing in place, because the little tabs and the locking pins back here don't work. And I got my holes drilled for the bolts back in here. Normally this would have fit on the inside of this panel, but I'm going to leave it on the outside. It's under less stress that way. And let me mix up. So I'm going to mix up some fairing compound and fair these 2 spots in, or at least tempt to. The fairing compound I'm using is System 3's Quick Fair, except the hardener. This hardener is slow, but they don't make that anymore. So yeah, and then you mix it up, and there we go here. In a little cup, and then we stir that up, and we'll start again. I was experimenting just which way I'm going to go with the thing here, because there's a little divot in here. So probably like that, maybe. Oh! We'll see how it goes. And I might stick a little bit in here too. A lot of that's going to come off. Okay. I'll leave that little. Ah. I'll leave that a little high and sand it down. Okay. So I'm just going to go along and fill in some of these cracks here and come back with the putty knife. Scrape it away. Well, I've done a preliminary sanding, and it's fairly good. And then over here on the side where we had that big hole, that's all been sanded in, and that part over here that was chipped out, that's been rounded over. So may do a little more sanding in here, but I'm not going to get too carried away on this thing. It's already, messed up, so you can't make it perfect again. At least I don't give a dang right now. Maybe when if it gets started, maybe I'll care a little bit more. If not, it's been an experience anyway. So I got a hole I got to drill in here yet for in here. I put the clip, normally it goes on here, but I stuck it back on the back side, and then I've got my hole in here. I've got to get some longer bolts, and I need to redo that hole. It doesn't quite fit correctly in here. This should be setting back probably, or this thing should be setting forward more. I don't know which is off. The other side's pretty good, but this side's kind of messed up. As you can see over here, this side fits in pretty good, and then down and around in here. But this is the strangest thing. You got a screw back in here to hold this panel to that panel, but you have to know to take off this stupid reflector here to get to it. So I think the guy that I got this from, when he got it from his dad, he broke a lot of the fittings off on the inside because they didn't know how to take it apart. And a scooter is kind of like one of those puzzle boxes. You may or may not know how to get it open. So I'm going to take all these panels off and work on some of the inside stuff. And yeah, I got more to do on the rounding down of here, and some more glassing underneath. And I'm probably going to do a little more sanding in here and cover it with glass. So we'll come back.